G'day, it's been a while. I thought it was about time I updated you on what's been happening with me and the channel and what the intentions are for the next few months, the rest of the year and beyond that. Long story short, I've had a few health issues. Firstly, I injured my knee, torn medial ligament in the knee and severe bruising on one side when I was travelling home by public transport on a tram in Melbourne. And the tram came to a sudden stop and the passenger who was next to me, we were both standing, fell and hit my knee on the way down. So I had a few weeks off my feet and a few months to recover. Couldn't do much walking in that time. And then shortly after that, an intermittent heart problem that I've had for more than 20 years became more chronic, and I was hospitalised with that. And that in the end required a change of drug treatment and surgery. Nothing life-threatening, but once again it's taken a fair while to recover and get to the point where I'm up and mobile and can reliably start planning and going on field trips to do photography. And then a couple of months ago, our dog did a knee injury and he required a knee reconstruction. Ironically, if I had had the knee reconstruction for mine, not that it needed it, but it would have been cheaper than the dog. No medical insurance for pets. But he's recovering well, but he's locked up in a cage indoors and requires constant supervision. And he's only allowed out on walks on leads, not allowed out in the backyard off a lead and so on. So I've been looking after him. And that's meant that I haven't been able to get out of the house for more than an hour or two at a time. And so I've really just put photography on hold. I've been doing some teaching, which has been good, but I haven't been out doing much photography in the field. So what I'm planning to do is to reconstruct this channel, get back on my feet, literally, and get out there and do some more. I've also been asked by a new tech company. It's a Chinese company, but they're opening up a web sales operation for Australia. And they've asked me to review some items for them. And the first one of those will come up in the next episode or the one after that. I should say at this stage that I have been asked to do reviews of products in the past, but the conditions that I put on them have typically been a little too difficult for vendors to come up with, and that is that I'm more than happy to do these reviews. All that happens is that they are sending me the gear, the relatively cheap gear. They're not asking for it to be sent back, and I have a condition that I'll receive no compensation for that. And I will give what I think is a fair review, even if I don't like it. I'm happy to say that if they're happy for me to do those reviews under those conditions. And this company has been. So it remains to be seen. I've done a bit of testing on these new filters that they've brought out, but I'll have a go at that soon and get that one up on air as soon as I can. The other major thing that has happened is my wife and I have put plans for an overseas holiday that we'd been putting a lot of effort into for this year, put that on hold, and our idea now is to spend our holiday time this year in Australia, particularly in areas that have been affected by the incredible bushfires that we've had over the last few months. Obviously, the immediate emergencies have been taken care of now, and Australia and the world have been incredibly generous on donating money to help the rehabilitation of areas, the wildlife, the people, getting them back on their feet and so on. But many of the people that are affected in these small communities in rural Australia are not the ones that have been directly affected by fire, but they are small businesses in the tourism industry. And so we've decided to spend our money in Australia and to spend it in areas that have been affected by bushfires. And two of those holidays that we're in the early stages of planning for later this year are going to be primarily in areas that I would normally have gone to for landscape photography. And so what I'm planning to do is to run some landscape photography workshops in those areas. I won't tell you where they are at the moment. I'll let those out once we've got the plans further advanced. But those workshops will be free. I won't be charging for the tuition, and I would really just like to do them to encourage people to consider having their holidays or their photography trips in Australia in those areas. So if you're in Australia or you're coming to Australia and planning to do some landscape photography, or we could even turn it into wildlife photography, then I'd be more than happy to have you join me on an informal basis. As I said, it won't be a business relationship. You'll be required to organise your own accommodation and food and so on, but I'll be providing in the field, and hopefully, if we can find the right venues, in classroom tuition for those workshops. So that's something that I'll give you more details about later. But in the meantime, I'm going to plan to reconstruct and redo my 52-week challenge that I set up 2 years ago, and for a variety of reasons it stalled at the end of that year when I'd really only done 22 of those 52 challenges. So I'm going to start building those up. I'm not going to guarantee that I'll get one out a week, but I will put those up again. If you want to check out what I've done previously, then you can go back through previous videos, but they're also available on my website, and I'll put the link to that below. And so that's it, a fairly quick one, just a quick update on where I am. So lastly, thanks very much to those people who have reached out and asked if I'm okay. It's a great little community, this vlogging community, particularly for photography and landscape photography vlogging. People have been really generous in their comments and messages that they've sent to me saying, look, we've noticed that you aren't around, you haven't been putting videos up, are you okay? The answer is yes. I wasn't a while ago, but nothing life-threatening, but debilitating enough that I couldn't get out and do much photography. So here's hoping I get out and do a bit more soon, and look forward to getting out and doing some reviews of equipment, the 52-week challenge continuing past week 21 or 22, wherever I was up to, and news of those photography workshops, or at least just a come and join me on a holiday in a couple of places in southern Australia that have been adversely affected by bushfires. So speak to you again soon, but remember, pixels are free, so get out there and shoot more. I will be soon. See you soon.